Hello, my fellow geeks. If you're watching this, you're most likely a 3D printer who have gotten a new Anycubic printer and you're having problems kind of like this. See this? This is my first print I tried to do and it got totally jacked up. I had to look and see what was going on and how to fix it. I did get it fixed, but I still see people posting every day on Facebook with other pictures like this. Lots of holes in models, messed up supports going through the model. Like those, I'm sure they didn't design those supports to go through the model's legs at all. Another one with just like random holes where supports were there where they weren't supposed to be. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why this is happening and how to fix it, and a couple of options on what you can do to prevent this from happening. But first, I'm going to give you the too long, don't want to watch explanation. This is Microsoft 3D Builder. This you can download for Windows for free, and this will basically fix your problem. Just open your file. So you have your file selected, hit Import Model. Down here it's going to say there were problems with your model. Click here to repair. Click that and wait. Depending on how big and complicated your model is, it might take a long time. I've had a couple models where it takes like 8 to 10 hours. This one I think is going to be pretty fast. Some of them only take a few seconds. This one's going to take a little longer than that. Okay, that was like 10 minutes. Actually, you know better than I do because I walked away. So now you go here and you do Save As. And Save As, you want to change the format, change it back to an STL, and you save it and be ready to go. We'll give you a warning, just ignore it. Save an STL. Now you should be able to slice this in whatever slicer, probably Photon Workshop, and have it work and save for your Anycubic printer. This may be an issue with other printers too. I don't have any idea, but I have Anycubic Mono printers.
Would you like to know more?
Now, if you want to know more, you can hang around and see the rest, because if you're developing, creating your own files, you want to know why this happens and other ways to fix it. I'm going to go into that now, but I wanted to get the quick answer out of the way first. So what you have here is a pre-supported file that I have. I'm actually working with the designer on this, and he had it pre-supported, and when I printed it, it did this. Like, that's a problem, so I had to go and figure out what it was. So the problem, turns out, is Chitty Box. It is the most popular program for hollowing and supporting models. Here's the model that we're looking at here, and here's the pre-supported model, and it looks fine. It's got lots of supports on it. Here's the part we're going to look at specifically inside the turret hatch here. You see it's nice and clean and circular. It's hollowed out. There's supports inside the model to make sure everything prints successfully. And this was hollowed and supported here in Chitty Box and exported as an STL. I opened it in Photon Workshop, set up my settings, and sliced it. And it looks here just fine. But then when I printed it, that's when it turned out looking like this. So it took me a while, and I did some research, and here I end up looking at the sliced file in Photon Workshop, and look at the turret hatch here. This is the bottom of the model. You can see there's artifacts in here, and these were what I noticed when I was printing it the first time. Inside here, there were lines like supports that went through, and there's artifacts all over the place, and you can see it printed exactly like the model. My printer did just fine. It did exactly what the slicing said. The slice was just garbage. Like, it's just terrible, especially right over there where you can see all those artifacts are there. It's just completely messed up. It almost looks like there's something wrong with the printer itself, but that's not what it was. It's actually all in the sliced file. It did exactly what it was supposed to. What it was supposed to do was just bad. And that was because this file just got messed up, and it's just simply a problem of what's happening in Photon Workshop with files that were modified and hollowed specifically. It seems to always happen with files that were hollowed in Chitty Box. So here now is that same file after it was fixed, and the main things to look for here, see how clean that is. See this wall here, how clean it is. Doesn't have any of those artifacts. It's the exact same file, but it was run through 3D Builder. Now there is still some weird stuff here, some stuff that I don't care for. Some artifacts that are just kind of just from the way that Chitty Box hollows things. It's not perfect, but this doesn't have all those errors that the other one did. After printing this, it came out being a nice looking file. So If you're getting pre-supported files, or you are running files through Chitty Box, that's what you have to do. Run it through 3D Builder. That file took about 10 minutes. I've had others that took literally forever and wasn't ever able to fix it. I think my computer rebooted before it was done. The other option you have right now is using Lychee Slicer, which is a newer, I think, up-and-coming product. It's not free all the time like Chitty Box is, so some people won't like this at all. The big advantage of Lychee is you can do the supports in Lychee, and you can export it directly into a format that will work with the Mono and the Mono-X, which you can't do in Chitty Box. When you're watching this, if your Chitty Box supports exporting to file formats that work on the Mono and the Mono-X, then you don't have to worry about that. But for now, in November 7th, 2020, that doesn't work. So because of that, I started experimenting with Lychee, and I really like it. Right now, this is a pro beta. It's 3.19 beta, so it's free with all the professional supports. There is a free version. I think I will gladly pay a couple dollars for it when necessary to get this, because I can knock out files really, really quick. And I really like the way it hollows files. Look at what it does here. I probably wouldn't have tried this if Chitty Box worked, but look at the hollow. What do they call it? A lattice. They call it a lattice. So it's printing a lattice inside, kind of like we have with FDM printers. So what happens is it hollows out the model, and then it prints these supports back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So it uses a little more resin, but it makes these models really, really strong. The original file that I showed you that was hollowed in Chitty Box that had supports, and it had some, but nothing like this. I can squeeze it, and it feels like cheap plastic. When I supported this file and did the same thing in Lychee, the same wall thickness just feels so much stronger. It does use a little more resin. It's about 10% more resin than what I had with the original file, but it feels like a solid, strong piece. And then with this, I can, as I mentioned, I can export directly to the Photon Mono. So I'm not saying you have to pay for Lychee, but I'm saying that's what I've been doing, and I'm probably going to pay for it because I really like it. Even when Chitty Box is fully supported, I can knock things out really, really fast at this point. Just so you know, I did try and open that pre-supported file in Lychee, and after slicing, it had problems too. And this probably tells you what the root of the problem is. There's just lots of holes detected, and Photon Workshop is messing them up in the process. Here you can even see it kind of in the slice. I did try this, but there's just extra pieces here in that same turret hatch. It's hollowed. Let's see, how does this side look? This was the side that was all messed up in the print. The one side here looks okay, but I've got extra artifacts here, and these will print inside the model. There's some more over here where that's what it's printing. It's just printing this random stuff. It doesn't show it. It's weird. It doesn't show it in the print, but you can see how it's just jacked up. If I open the fixed model from 3D Builder in here, it would be better. It would be okay, probably. So anyway, there you go. That's what is happening with your models if they're totally messed up, and how to fix them using 3D Builder or just redoing the support in Lychee. You do have to get a non-supported model, so if you only get supported models, that might be a problem. I may just do a video on how I do supports in Lychee because I really like it, and they're really fast, and it does show you unsupported islands right here in the software that seems to be better than Chitty Box, I think. It does take a pretty beefy computer, but I like it. So that's going to be the end of this video. If you found it useful, leave a like and a comment down below. If you are looking for a resin printer, I've got some recommendations for different models down below, options for you. Also, I've listed the resin that I've absolutely fallen in love with, and I don't use anything else anymore. If you want to see a video about that, let me know. Next up is going to be a video about upgrades you need to do to your Photon Mono and some problems that I found having used it for over a month now. Yeah, right at a month now. So there are a couple things that it needs to make it near perfect. It's really good though. Oh my gosh, I've printed so much stuff. But until next time, if you're going to be a geek, be an Elite Geek.